Hey there, guys, and welcome back to Alex Invest. And hello, we are seeing some green today. It is fantastic to see. Now, we're not quite out of it yet, though, because last Monday we also saw some green, and then we continued red the rest of the week. So that was a little bit of a bull trap. Now, we might see the same thing today or this week with green on Monday and the rest of the week red. But what's interesting to note about today compared to last Monday is today we actually have bond yields up, whereas stock prices are also up. Therefore, we're not seeing that correlation there anymore between or as much between bond yields and the stock prices. And I think that's sort of how we would see at normal times. Those two don't really correlate as much as they do right now, but they are because people are worried about this inflation. Now, there's two things I want to note to you guys about inflation, and then I want to talk to you guys about some of the stock picks that I'm looking at this week, what I'm kind of looking at buying this week. And again, I won't be buying much today. I want to wait to see tomorrow whether or not today was in fact a bull trap. But again, with that less correlation, I think we actually have a good chance of seeing more green again tomorrow. So that's what I want to talk to you guys there about. Now, inflation, two things. First of all, what Cathie Wood says about inflation is that there's this deflationary force in tech and innovation, right? Which, for example, you can buy an iPhone from 5 years ago for less than you could have bought that iPhone for 5 years ago. So that's a deflationary effect because you're getting more for less money, right? You're getting more technology for less money, even if you buy something new today. And that's kind of that deflationary effect in tech and innovation. And that's why inflation shouldn't have as much of an effect there. And I completely agree with this. And I am in tech and innovation stocks, and I will remain in tech and innovation stocks partially because of that. Now, the second thing, and this is kind of the part that a lot of investors and a lot of YouTubers aren't mentioning and are getting incorrect, and that is inflation causes a higher discount rate in a DCF, right? A discounted cash flow statement. And that's what's kind of pushing prices down as well. That, and of course, the fact that people are, once again, bonds are becoming more attractive to buy because yields are going up, prices of bonds are going down because nobody's buying bonds. So therefore you want to buy bonds because they're a safer play than buying stocks when you get kind of a same or similar rate of return on those investments. So that's kind of also a reason why stocks are going down, but mostly because of this, people are worried about inflation. Now, on a DCF, what basically happens is you discount those future cash flows with a discount rate, and that discount rate goes up as inflation goes up, and so your present values are lower, and therefore your stock prices in the present are lower. But what people aren't mentioning is the fact that because inflation is higher, that means prices are higher. So that means your future cash flows have now gone up in value, and people aren't accounting for that. Investors aren't accounting for that. So what happens is inflation, while a higher discount rate is added, higher future cash flows need to be added as well, and that's what's missing. So inflation is having this double effect on their discounted cash flows, and prices are getting lower when they really shouldn't be, because inflation comes up, that means discount rate goes up, future cash flows go up, and therefore that sort of inflation in the discount rate is negated, but not fully. And this is important to note as well, because the further you go into the future, the more that discount rate is going to have an effect on the present value, because you're discounting every single year by the same discount rate. So say that discount rate is 15%. Well, in 1 year, it's only 15%, but in 2 years, it's 15% and 15% again, and then that will get you your present value. So 2 years with a higher discount rate is going to be a bigger effect than 1 year. So that's important to note. And so because of those higher prices, right, higher demand, and that's why people are worried about the velocity of money as well, because as the velocity of money goes up, there's more circulation of money in the economy, increases demand, increases prices increases the discount rate, and therefore it decreases kind of current cash flows. But again, you have to increase those cash flows while inflation's going up because prices are going up. So that's what people aren't accounting for. But again, the further you go, and that's why people are worried about some of these companies that have like zero cash flows right now or zero even revenues, because these companies are promising so much more in the future than they actually have today, and that's where I want to go from now here, is show you guys kind of some of the stocks that I'm looking at because of this. Now, first of all, I want to show you guys Tesla, because I bought Tesla last Friday at around that 590 level, and we're kind of there right now, and we're actually even a little bit lower. So I think it's a good spot again to buy Tesla here, because they have cash flows already. And yes, they're promising a lot into the future, and they're promising a lot 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, but they're also have cash flows now already in the present, and they have cash flows a year from now, 2 years from now. So that's why Tesla is always a good buy, especially at this level. I do see them much higher. And again, I already have quite a lot of Tesla shares, and I've been buying Tesla for a few years now, but I will continue to do so moving forward. I have a very little amount of cash right now. It's basically all in the market, and that just shows how bullish I am on the market as well. And I only ever tell you guys what I think and what I'm doing in the markets too. Now, the other one is NSH. This one I think is a great buy right now too. I did a video on them last week. And the reason again is they're merging with Spire. Spire already has cash flows. And so inflation won't affect them as much as, for example, an MVMD, which again is coming up today, which is nice, but and they have their first revenues. And I'm not saying sell MVMD. I'm holding all my shares in MVMD, in fact, and I haven't really sold any, and bought more actually at that 1.9 level, and will continue kind of to hold and potentially buy a few more here as well, because I do see them doing very well into the future. But again, MVMD is promising more in 5 years, 6 years down the road than they currently have, and that's why inflation is going to affect an MVMD more than it's going to affect an NSH, for example, which Spire already has cash flows now. And yes, they're promising a lot into the future. By 2023, they should have positive cash flows and should have positive EBITDA, but right now they still already have cash flows there, so that's good. NSH I think has a lot of upside potential, but we're so close to net asset value here as well that there's not much downside potential really left for this stock, and that's why I bought around this level at the 1020. I also bought at the 1045, I believe. And so, yeah, I see them doing really well. Now, the other one I wanted to mention is Hillcrest Petroleum. We're up a lot today again, and the reason is to do with the fact that they had a name change and they are getting listed on the CSE now. And these are the first two steps. You can go check out my video on HRH for more information there. But the name change there to HEAT on the CSE was their first kind of move there, and then their next thing is going to be their Inigo deal, and then from their Inigo deal they're going to have the AC/DC deal and another deal as well, and I won't go more into that, but you can go check out my video there. But we're on our way there, and once we see that Inigo deal again, we're going to rocket up much more than we are already, in my opinion. But the uplist to the CSE and the name change to HEAT was kind of that first step there. So that's nice to see there. CMC, I want to mention to you guys quickly, because this one, again, I think it's a great buy under 0.9. Anywhere under 0.9, I would be willing to buy this stock. Last week, we saw that 0.6 level. And that was fantastic spot to buy. But again, anywhere under 0.9 I think is a good spot to buy. I told my friend to buy at the 0.86 level. He didn't, and he is sad about it now because we did have that jump. Of course, we could keep going down again because of, again, that inflation effect where CMC has very little revenues right now. But they're still going up just because of sort of those potential revenues coming forward here. They have new facilities that they're building, etc. But really good to buy under 0.9. So that's that. Now, two other ones that I'm looking at, well, of course, Fuel Cell and Plug as well, coming back down a bit now. But again, I see Fuel Cell at a $20 stock, and I'm surprised they're down here. I haven't sold any, and I don't plan on selling any. I didn't even sell any back when we were at the $29. I sold some before, right around here, and that's kind of the last time I bought or sold any of the shares in Fuel Cell. Same with Plug. They've had a lot of deals coming out lately, and I see that continuing, so good things there. Two stocks I wanted to, or I'm potentially looking at buying, is Corsair, again, because of that fact that they already have cash flows and inflation isn't going to affect them as much as a MVMD, for example. And so Corsair, that's one, could be a safe play again moving forward there because of those cash flows they already have. And Palantir too. This one is at a very discounted rate right now. Definitely a fire sale on this one. And yes, they are again promising a lot for the future here, but they already have decent revenues now. So those are kind of two that I'm looking to pick up this week potentially. Again, I want to see what happens tomorrow there in both of these. So we will see what happens there. And that's pretty much it for you guys. I just wanted to go over those things there. And kind of go through inflation a little bit, go through some stock picks and what I'm looking at this week. And that's kind of it. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Please like and subscribe the video, share the video, leave me a comment. What do you guys think about all this stuff on inflation and discounted cash flows? And other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Enjoy the green, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.